On the news tonight, Senate amends Electoral Act to permit electronic transmission of election results, keeps manual as backup. Wike confirms meeting with Tinubu, ask Rivers Assembly to do the needful. The Nadi Usman-led faction takes over Labour Party's National Secretariat, a Bur-Islam move. And on the foreign scene, UK Prime Minister says he will never walk away from mandate given to him. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. The Senate has amended the Electoral Act to permit the electronic transmission of election results, leaving safeguards to address potential technical challenges. The decision follows the upper chamber's move today to rescind its earlier disposition, which had rejected the compulsory electronic transmission of results from polling units to the Independent National Electoral Commission's INEC Result Viewing Portal, IREV. Following the new amendment, the Senate approved electronic transmission without the real-time phrase as part of the electoral process, but stipulated the form EC8A will remain the primary instrument for result collation. The proposal, however, sparked concerns among lawmakers, particularly over the reliance on Form EC8A as a primary source of election results where dispute arise. The votes and proceedings were then approved and adopted by the upper chamber. The upper chamber also appointed a 12-member conference committee to harmonize differences between its version of the amendment bill and that of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, Senate President Godswill Akpabio says President Tinubu is expected to sign the bill into law this month.
Let me just mention that after consultation with the leadership, we have moved the number from 9 to 12. So I quickly read out the number of the conference committee members from the Senate. And Senator Lalong Simon Bako is the chairman. Senator Mongunu Mohamed Tahir is a member. Senator Aliru Adamu Mohamed, my leader, is also a member. Dismissed Senator Ojus Okalu, my leader. Remember, you were a governor before me, so you are still a leader. And you are my in-law. You are my in-law. No. Okay, I'll come to that. Senator Abamuru is a member. Senator Asuku Ekpeyong is a member. Senator Abbas Aminu Aminu Abbas is a member. Senator Abiru Mukai Adetukumbo is a member. Senator Adebomire Adeniyi Ayodele, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, is a member. Senator Jibrin Isa Ochocho is a member. The Dismissed Senator Banigo Ipalibo Harry is a member. The Dismissed Senator Nwebui is a member. That makes it 12, so that we were together with our colleagues in the House of Representatives. The conference committee, when you meet, you know that this is a matter of urgency. I believe that if you're able to conclude within the next few days or 1 week, the president should be able to sign this amended electoral bill into an act of parliament.
Earlier, a former Rivers State governor and ex-minister of transportation, Rotimi Amechi, this morning joined protesters at the National Assembly, demanding the mandatory inclusion of real-time electronic transmission of election results in the proposed Electoral Act Amendment. Amechi was seen standing side by side with protesters, clamoring that their demands are met. The protest comes amid ongoing controversies surrounding the amendment of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill ahead of the 2027 general elections, particularly over whether the INEC should be mandated to transmit the result electronically in real time from polling units. On Monday, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, P2B, also joined the protesters, lending his voice to calls for electoral transparency and credibility.
They don't care. That day, Senator Babi will be in his mansion with police, with army protecting him, while people like us will be on the field. And they are rigging the election. But you know one funny thing? If you think they won't rig, you're wasting time. To stop them from rigging, we must come out in large numbers.
But do you see them? Do you see these people responding to this peaceful?
I don't know. And if it's a Babi, I know. If it's the one I know, because we are governors at the same time, he doesn't think it matter. The problem is not even Babi. Even the president doesn't think the citizens matter. The only time the president began to react to insecurity was when Americans. The day the Americans said, "Oh, they are killing Christians," that's when the president felt his office is threatened. He doesn't care about Nigerians.
One would be tempted to ask them for what is this protest if they are not
okay, this is to make the mark that Nigerians must come out. You're right. What is the essence of this protest? We must go back home now before the election and mobilize ourselves in large number. If there are 300,000 policemen, bring out 600,000 Nigerians.
What are their own streets?
These arms, how many people will they kill? Nigerian international law tells you you can't kill. There's a number you kill becomes actually genocide. You're talking about genocide. This is Christian, but there's a number you are not allowed. I read international law. And
in the meantime, the president of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has congratulated senators following the Court of Appeal judgment upholding the 6-month suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan in March 2025. Akpabio made the remarks at the commencement of an emergency plenary session today. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja ruled that the Senate acted within its constitutional powers in suspending Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan over alleged misconduct. In a unanimous judgment, the 3-member panel of the appellate court held that Akpoti-Uduaghan's parliamentary privilege and constitutional rights were not breached by the suspension. Addressing lawmakers, Senator Akpabio said the court's verdict judicially confirmed that the lawmakers had the power to sanction any erring colleague for unruly behavior.
But I must congratulate the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the landmark decision of the Court of Appeal delivered on Monday, which affirmed that your rules are corollaries from the Nigerian Constitution and that the standing orders of the Senate must always be obeyed. Any community without law and order will live in anarchy. And so the suspension that you earlier handed over to one of your colleagues of very unruly behavior in the Senate was confirmed by the Senate, or by the Court of Appeal. So I would say judicially confirmed by the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal went further to say that you have the powers to discipline any erring officer of government. So I said I should just mention that. Congratulations.
The security, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has approved the immediate deployment of the Chief of Army Staff Intervention Battalion of Special Forces to Plateau State. The troops already in the state are tasked to aggressively and decisively address the recent resurgence of terrorist attacks. In a press release by the Media Information Officer of Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace, Captain Chinonso Ote, the move is a potential game changer in tackling insecurity in the region. Recently, the troops at Headquarters 3 Division, the General Officer commanding 3 Division, Major General Folusho Ilola, represented by the Chief of Staff, Brigadier General Senlong Sule, urged other troops to be decisive and ruthless in carrying out offensive operations against terrorists. The deployment comes against the backdrop of renewed violence in the North Central region in 2026. On February 7, 4 people, including a woman, were reportedly killed by suspected Fulani militia in Dinghaka village in Bokkos local government. And now turning to politics, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says President Bola Tinubu's intervention in the political crisis involving Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara would be the final time the president will step in to resolve the dispute. Wike stated these while speaking with journalists after inspecting ongoing infrastructure project in the FCT, shortly after the president brokered a fresh peace move between him and Fubara at the presidential villa in Abuja on Sunday night. Addressing questions on the Rivers crisis, Wike said the president acted in his capacity as a father figure and peacemaker, but stressed that such intervention should not become a recurring issue.
Very kind to the people of the state. If there seems to be a problem between the legislature and the governor, and as a father, you really have to intervene. I remember this is the second time Mr. President intervened. I believe, by the grace of God, this will be the last time. I believe that the Assembly have told them to be needful to obey Mr. President, which I know they will not hesitate. And I also believe that the governor will carry out some part to make sure that this is the final time Rivers people need to hear this kind of discord. So that is it.
The former national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Aburi, has condemned what he said was the invasion of the party's national secretariat in Abuja, accusing the Senator Nina Usman-led faction of orchestrating the action. Aburi, in a statement issued by the factional National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, described the incident as a violent and unlawful takeover of the party's Utako headquarters. The Aburi-led faction alleged that the invasion occurred in early this morning and was carried out with a heavy police presence. The faction acknowledged the existence of a federal high court judgment recognizing Usman as interim chairman of the party, but maintained that the decision was under appeal and subject to a stay of execution. The statement called on security agencies to intervene, warning that failure to address the situation could undermine democratic institutions. Earlier, Senator Usman had confirmed her faction had taken over the party's national secretariat, saying the move was long overdue. Speaking through her senior special advisor on media, Ken Asogwa, Senator Usman said the police at the secretariat were invited by them and are there to perform their duties as per the court's judgment. And still with politics, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde held a closed-door meeting with former military President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida retired at his hilltop residence in Mina, the Niger State capital. Speaking to journalists after the meeting on Monday, Atiku said his visit to Niger State was aimed at strengthening the structures of the African Democratic Congress ADC in his state, stressing that the visit had nothing to do with contesting the 2027 presidential election. According to him, the focus of his engagement was on the demand by Nigerians for real-time electronic transmission of election results, which he said would reduce confusion and electoral disputes. He explained that electronic transmission of results would ensure transparency and reduce chaos during elections, adding that the controversial amendment to the Electoral Act was deliberately mixed with manual processes, thereby creating confusion. Although Atiku did not disclose the specific reason for his visit to General Babangida, he noted that it was not his first visit to the elder statesman. On his part, the State Governor Seyi Makinde declined to speak with journalists. He reportedly remained in the inner chamber of Babangida's residence after Atiku had left, and journalists were informed that he was on a private visit. Lawmaker representing Boluwaduro Ifedayo Ila Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Clement Olorunwa, today commissioned student hostel facility and road project in Ila-Orogun, Osun State. The school hostel facility sited at the Federal University of Health Sciences Ila-Orogun marked a major milestone in the history of the 4-year-old institution of learning. Ruby Sanusi was there and our reports.
Hundreds of supporters thronged around the lawmaker representing Boluwaduro Ifedayo and Ila Federal Constituency, Clement Olorunwa, as the Commission's developmental projects in Ila-Orogun, Osun State. The event kick-started with earth work from New Garage to Ojolakwe area as the People's Democratic Party PDP lawmaker, joined by other political allies, used the opportunity to create awareness for Accord Party ahead of the August 8, 2026 governorship election. While addressing his supporters, Honorable Olorunwa stressed that Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke will emerge winner in the governorship poll despite what he described as intimidation.
Ademola Adeleke has been known to the whole world, not even to Osun State alone. So let all of them combine together. Ademola is going to defeat them once again, and is going to be the next governor of this state. No matter the type of harassment, no matter the type of intimidation, he is going to come out and defeat every one of them.
After the health work, the next stop was at the Federal University of Health Sciences, Ila-Orongun, where a 500-bed capacity hostel facilitated by Honorable Olorunwa was commissioned by the Orongun of Ila, Oba Abdul Wahab Oyedotun. In his address, the lawmaker says the project signifies his passion for development in Hila, while the Vice-Chancellor of the institution, Akim Lasisi, noted that the hostel facility will aid the accreditation process for medicine program in the school.
This is a university. It's a university, and like he told me, like the VC told me, one needed for the accreditation of the school. And if we had not done this, like he said the other time, the accreditation wouldn't have been approved.
The medical student hostel is an essential part of accreditation consideration. So that was just the main thing. They have to look at it and see the bed space available and proximity to the teaching hospital.
Similarly, Osun State Governor, represented by the Commissioner for Youth Affairs, Moshood Olagunju, commended the federal lawmaker for the project, noting that it will create a better learning environment for students. While the Orongun of Okila, Oba Adedokun Abolarin, called for more developmental projects to sustain democracy in Nigeria.
The hostel accommodation we are commissioning today is a major boost to this young university. Proper housing improves student welfare, promote discipline, and create a better learning environment.
This is beautiful, and it's bringing government nearer to the people, and that's what representation is all about. This is Abuja here, and that is the essence of democracy. I implore all Nigerians to be patient with our government, either at this center, the state, or local government. We must keep checking them, but again, it will get to all the nooks and crannies of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Honorable Olorunwa, who promised the people of his federal constituency of more projects, ended his tour with the commissioning of a road infrastructure at Onifade Street. Dignitaries present at the event include Chairman of the PDP and Accord Party, Sunday BC, and Victor Akonde, member representing Ila State constituency at the Osun State House of Assembly, Sikiru Bajepade, the Owa of Igbajo, Oba Makinde Ademola, among others. Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
Still to come, EFCC chair raises concern over funding shortfalls and appeals to Senate for support. We will bring you more on these when we return. Stay with us.